everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of 10 Minute Tuesday. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. In today's episode, I got my guy Ojo in the building. Ojo, what's going on, brother?
I'm good. Thank you, Sekou. I've been meaning to be on your podcast for a while, and thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, man. I'm glad you were able to make time. I had a couple scheduling hiccups on my end, but thanks for the flexibility of having you on, man. I'm looking forward to this one. So we've done a number of 10 Minute Tuesdays, man. So if you could go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, I'm Ojo. Everybody calls me that. I have a complex name, so don't worry about it. Just the three magic letters. I've been doing Tableau for more than 12 years. Tableau consulting, end-to-end employment, implementation. But what I'm most known for is take your dashboards from the dashboard graveyard and make them high-touch executive ones. I'm so pleased to speak to Sekou and be on his podcast. I've been watching his channel for a while now and super excited and stoked to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So you mentioned that you've been doing a lot of stuff with Tableau. You've been in it for a while. You can get dashboards from the graveyard and reprise them and wake them up again. But at a certain point, you had to get your start. So what really compelled you to even get into data to begin with?
Back in 2012, my first contract was with Target Canada. They were new, they had cutting edge at the time Tableau, which hardly anyone knew of. And they had their dev team in India. They wanted me to be their business, the intermediary between business leadership and tech. And very quickly, I found out that the team in India was no good. Like they took the longest time ever to get the simplest of the requests done. And I asked myself, how hard can it be? And I started playing out with the tool. I had the license with me, lucky me. I came from Java and tech background, so it wasn't too much of a learning curve. And I found Andy Kriebel's channel online. So I was completely soaked up into this, doing this probably 12 hours straight every day. And within a week or so, I was good enough. And my manager said, okay, you can wear two hats and keep doing this. That one thing led to the other. And I fell in love with the platform, with the art, the craft, and the science.
Love it, love it. And I think you're saying something that really resonates with me about the journey, and I think others need to hear, is you immerse yourself in it, right? 12 hours a day, you really dove into it. You YouTube, Googled, like you really had to put the work in to understand what was going on to pick up Tableau.
Absolutely. I feel for most of us, because the tool is intuitive, it's easy to do, you can drag and drop, but where you make the difference is having to hunt and peck versus now through a methodology or a known science with practice and by working with the right coaching leadership, you can get from I don't know this to good enough
Yeah.
really quickly. At that time, not so much, but now we have those resources.
Yeah, definitely agree. Definitely agree. All right, so 2012, you've been doing this for a while. I'm sure beforehand you mentioned you're in technology, and then even before that, you probably did some stuff you didn't like. So thinking about that, what's been your least favorite job to date that you ever had?
The least favorite job was when they said you're good enough in technology, we need to get you promoted, and now you lead a team. People management was not my style. I was more of an individual contributor. I've always, and I struggled with you do this in Excel sheets and performance reviews and all the operational overhead. Reason why I quit being a full timer and being a consultant, doing things that I love to do, inspire others by doing myself.
Yeah, I resonate with that again as well because the the administrative stuff that comes along with running a team is just like it takes you away from your passion and what you enjoy doing and what you put so much time into learning and building. It just soaks up and it just is sap. So I totally understand that piece a whole lot.
But life is a full circle, Seiko. When I look back, I somehow feel that leadership is an important part. Having
Sure.
a great communication, an outlook for marketing. Now, as a solopreneur, trying to grow my consulting practice, I've come to believe that communication and leadership are things that you cannot wiggle out of. You have to inspire others. Working single handed versus having a scalable system, are two different things. And that's the reason why, since the early 2024, I've been doing a lot of speaking to the data fam and volunteering my time to build the community, to give back to the data fam, because somehow you want to attract the right talent to work with you, to attract the right clients to work with you, and go from being, I'm looking out for work, to attracting paying customers and clients who come to you that, oh, Joe, I know your body of work. I've seen you do X and Y, Z presentations, and go from there.
Yeah, 100%, 100% agree. The more you can market yourself and connect and talk, that speaks volumes what you put out into the atmosphere, and you're a product of what you get back. So speaking of that, right? So you put a lot of time into the craft. You've done a lot of different things. You picked up a lot of different things, but not everything has been successful. So with that in mind, what would you consider your biggest failure? Quotation marks around failure in your career, and what did you really learn from it?
This is your favorite question, isn't it, Seiko?
Oh, I love it.
Uh,
I love it. Right. We all fail and we all grow from it. But yes, I love to hear the journey that people are on.
if this comes across as something practiced, it probably is, because I heard this question, I prepared for it. The lucky thing is I've always won, not because I'm just like anybody else on this talk show, on this podcast, and anyone who can agree with me. There has not been, the only constant thing that has been was failure. I've failed more than I've succeeded. And this is true. It's brutally honest. But the best part is, early on in the game, I used to take it to heart. I used to be very sad. It used to take me a while to spin back into that positive mode from being upset and all blue about it. But down the road, with the help of mentors, with the help of some coaching, I started looking at failures at the first step in learning. So FAIL, first attempt in learning. That's what I look at failures right now. If you failed, it was your first attempt in learning.
I love that. I'm gonna steal that one. So yeah, yeah, you're gonna see that one on social media. I'm gonna be like, okay, I love that. I love that acronym. First attempt in learning. Okay, cool. I
Learning.
love that. That's great. So
Thank you.
cause a consistent theme I'm hearing here, and I'm going a little bit off topic a little bit. But you mentioned the importance of having a coach and a mentor. How valuable has having appropriate people around you to help guide you and get you in the right path to be successful? How impactful has that been for you?
Phenomenal. We as human beings, and I'm just getting a bit emotional, probably a bit philosophical here, is having a mentor or having a role model has been, I'm the product of that. When I was young, my dad was my role model. And growing up, when I was in my teens, I came across my biology teacher. He became my role model because he was the first one to introduce all these fancy printed, internationally printed, color papered books, which had these cell structures and what have you. I became fascinated by it, art, literature, everything pushed together. And as I matured and my worldview improved, I got to work with Infosys, some of the founder members there. Infosys in India is one of the top consulting companies, and I joined it because one of my role models, Narayan Murthy, was still leading from the front. So I had him as my mentor. Later on, I must say, Andy Kriebel played a significant role in shaping who I am. Everything that I learned was from his videos on YouTube, and I must give credit to the man. Then I've had phenomenal mentors in the data fam leadership, and I can't name names, it'll gonna take all day.
Yeah, leadership and mentorship and all of the guidance is it's like so important for people to get to and connect with. It's one of those things where once you have it and realize it, you realize how important it is. So, next question I have for you: the target audience for my podcast is people who are just starting out in data, or they're transitioning and pivoting into data, or somehow this popped up on their algorithm feed and they're like, "What's 10-minute Tuesday? Let me give it a try." So, with that in mind, what is one piece of advice you give someone who's just starting out in their career?
Never compare yourself with somebody else, because you never know how long they have been hustling behind the scenes. If your data or your craft is not at its place, don't stop, because if you do, you failed. you haven't failed until you have given up.
Wow, you haven't failed until you've given up. Man, Ojo, you're dropping so many bombs, man. I'm just going to clip this whole episode up, man. You're going to see like 10 social media posts, man. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal.
Do
All
it.
right. Where can listeners find you at? Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, before I go back to that, you mentioned Andy Kriebel, but I'm always going to ask, what are the most influential people in your life and how they made an impact on you?
I must say, my dad to start with. My family has been a massive support. And I don't say it because everybody says it, I mean it. And I must give credit to the freedom that I enjoy thanks to the people in my inner circle who understand me, who support me, and who know that what I do makes me happy and let me do what I do. In the professional world, I must say the data fam has been phenomenal. Getting to do what I love to do has allowed me to stay in that positive state of mind. And when you stay positive, you're winning every day.
Love it, love it. And that's so true. Shout out to everybody who's made an impact on you. Shout out to the data fam and the positive mindset. That speaks volumes. Like the more positive and stuff, you see more start to come to you. It's just in a really good way. All right, Ojo, where can listeners find you at online?
I'm on LinkedIn. I have a YouTube channel where I try to volunteer my time. Seiko, I'm like you. I want to give back to the community. But consulting is what puts food on the plate, and I still have to do it because I have a mortgage to pay. So follow me, support me, and if you see work where I can help, let me know.
Awesome, awesome. Y'all heard it here. Follow him on LinkedIn. If you got some dashboards that are dying or in the graveyard, he can revive them. Make sure they're back and your business stakeholders are happy. They understand what's going on in their business, man. Ojo, this was great, man. Appreciate you being on.
Seiko, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, no problem at all. And as I said in the beginning, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all have a great day.